This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised. Football is over, so now your Sundays belong to us, and your Mondays, and your Fridays, and your Saturdays. Actually, VALORANT is back, baby. Hello, and welcome to Day 3 of the 2024 VCT America's Kickoff, coming at you live from the Riot Games Arena right here in Los Angeles, California. Of course, I'm Golden Boy, and I'm joined on the desk by my esteemed colleague, Mimi. Fist bump as always, dog. Boom, nailed it. Look at that. Absolutely. Just
really messed that up.
Because if we went for a dab up, it could have been really bad. No, Mimi. Okay. Oh, girl. We'll work. Pero, I'm also joined by some incredible people on the desk here today. We have Athena coming in hot, and from our LATAM broadcast team, we have Suga coming in to support us. How you doing?
Doing great. So happy to be here with all of you guys, and also super excited for today's matches.
You guys are both dressed up for KRÜ today.
Yeah, actually, we're ready for KRÜ. No, we're KRÜ.
Hop off for KRÜ. I love it. I love it. All right, well, let's go ahead, though, before we get ahead of ourselves and talk about what happened yesterday on this stage, because it was a holiday. Clout Day. It's a new holiday that we've enshrined here at VCT, and we started off with Sentinels versus Loud.
And this match was a sad day for any Loud doubters, because Don proved yet again that no matter who you give him in the offseason, he is going to show up and create an excellent team with some really creative ideas. They took the win there. And then we saw this Leviathan debut as well. And Suga, they looked excellent.
Yeah, they look really nice and much better than last year. I mean, they haven't been saving all the rounds, so we really like these.
So that's an upgrade.
Yeah, and they look so dynamic too, so I hope to see much more for this team this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all these teams so far looking super promising. And I agree, Loud, Leviathan, to me, they looked really dominant. I think they proved that yesterday. And it's not even just the roster. I think it's the way they play, the way that they're communicating, and definitely the vibes of the team as well. You can tell there's a difference.
Yeah, an incredibly, I wouldn't say necessarily dominating, but incredibly inspiring performance from both of these teams, because you really do. Questions were, does Sadak still have it? I think we know he definitely does. And for Leviathan, will this roster work out? Oof, I definitely think that's happening. So this is exciting, and we have set the stage for some pretty cool stuff here. But let's go ahead, though, and take a look at our bracket and see where we are right now. Today's schedule, though, is quite simple. One matchup. That's all you get. But don't worry, because there's going to be plenty more matches to come. It's going to be KRÜ versus G2 Esports. And I'm personally excited for this one, to see the boys in G2 finally take the VCT America stage, but we also get to see the darling of the LCQ, KRÜ, really come back and show us what they've learned over the offseason.
Yeah, champions didn't go their way after going on that incredible run, and now with some new players in the roster, it's a question of whether KRÜ can actually have consistency compared to last year. And for G2, we have been waiting so long to see this roster play at a tier 1 level. Their arrival in Americas is so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like the sweetheart team coming into this, because it's there are so many people and tier 2 players are looking forward to see how this team kind of performs, because
first big test, right?
Exactly. Yeah. This is their big test, and this is kind of where they see okay, are they up to standard? Can they compete in so to speak, the big leagues?
Yeah.
And I think that this is really their time to shine. But at the same time, I do think it's where KRÜ has to kind of prove themselves too.
Yeah, and they also have the experience of being 09. It was so hard for them last year, and they made it to champions, even though they couldn't really show up there. But I guess this KRÜ looks much more consistent than maybe last year. This roster looks much more like a higher power level. So I hope to see them today, and maybe they will show up.
Yeah, I think that based off what we got at the end of last year and how these players really fought through a lot of that adversity, I'm very optimistic about KRÜ coming into this, and I'm excited. I'm with you. I want to see it all, and don't worry, folks, we're going to get there in a little bit. But with a new team making their debut, we figured we'd take an opportunity to get to know them, a little bit better in a little segment that we like to call G2 Truths and a Lie. Ha, look at that, wordplay.
Terrible.
It's awesome. I made the graphic myself.
Really?
No, I didn't. I do not have those skills. Now, we're going to reveal some facts about G2. All right, 2 of them are going to be true, and 1 of them will be an outright lie.
You'd lie to me?
I would lie to you
crazy.
any day of the week, Mimi. So,
Wasn't expecting that.
here we go. Let's go and plaster the truths on the screen. All right. If the G2 core didn't lose a map, or the G2 core didn't lose a map in the Ascension Finals, Leaf had the 3rd highest ACS in Americas last season, and Valen has played the most pro matches of any G2 players. Ooh, those are good ones. What are the truths? Actually, what's the lie? Which one is the lie? 1, 2, or 3? In chat, you guys can participate as well.
I think I'm gonna vote for number 3. I think Valen playing the most pro matches of any GT player, just because.
I mean,
I feel like they've played the
Champs
same amount.
21.
Yeah,
too,
like-
right? Like I feel like he has to be the
True.
most. Like he was playing Champs 21. He was
That's
playing
true.
LCQ way back when. He was playing in 2022. He's been like a top level pro for so long. It feels like it can't be Valen, but also like the tier 2 weekly events where you play 19 games in one night.
That's true.
Maybe he
But what
blew it
about
out.
number 1 though? Was that like any? You guys are cool with that one?
No.
2.
They haven't lost a series, but I guess they lose so many.
I think they lost a map.
A map, yes, but not a series.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So which
That's
one do
what
we
I
think
mean.
it is?
I'm still locking in 3.
3. Suga?
I'll go with the first one.
First
First one, I'm going 3 as well.
3. All right. Survey says, what do we have? As it's number 1. Oh, Suga dab on number 1. Look at that.
Thinking about the series, not the map. That should make me realize.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I didn't mean to. I was still wrong.
Let's see the next one. Let's see the next one, because I'm excited. All right, so G2 is the only team in Americas without an assistant coach. Leaf's only previous team in Valorant was Cloud9, and all of G2 has attended an international event. Which one is the fib,
I
the
know
lie?
the second one's a lie.
The second one, Leaf's only previous
what
team in
else has
Valorant
he
was
played for?
Cloud9.
Well, no, he only is the
Only.
issue. Has he played for?
In Valorant,
Okay,
no.
I remember 2021. It was only Cloud. I mean,
Actually,
surely he's played
he-
like tier 2 tournaments, but I don't know if we're
Does that
counting
count?
Yeah, I don't know if that
Only
counts.
was
previous
I'm pretty
team
sure it's his
Valorant was-
only signed team. It just depends on how you count it.
All right, which one's a lie? Athena? Pick a number.
All right, I'm gonna lock in number 3 again. All
Number
G2
3.
has attended an international event.
All right, Suga?
I'm gonna go with number 2.
Number 2.
Okay,
James?
I know G2 doesn't have an assistant coach. I feel like surely
She's trying
Wait,
to
then
win
why not
this.
pick it?
One's trying to win right now, dude.
Leaf doesn't. I think it's number 2. If we're considering like signed rosters, I can't remember one.
Okay, well,
gonna look
let's
silly,
see which
but-
one is the lie. Survey says
Oh my
number
God.
1. G2 is the only team in Americas without an
You even
assistant
said it.
coach.
Well, I mean, I knew they
Self-reported.
didn't, but I thought maybe another team. No, but I mean, the survey's right.
Wow.
That makes me wonder, who else did G2 play for? Are we just like counting a pug mix?
Ooh, maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's
we'll have to
definitely
find
played,
out.
like, tournaments with friends.
Ultimately, we can all just blame Kurt. So I think it's perfectly
Okay.
fine. Now, let's go ahead and wait a minute. Actually, I'm being told we have a new game. Oh, just because Suga's here, we figured we'd do something fun. It's a new one and a new pun. KRÜ Truths and a Lie. Yes.
My
Enough.
moment.
Okay, you're the crew expert. Yeah, how
Made
long
that
have
one
you
too.
been like following this crew team?
I guess since they started playing Valorant.
Day 1 fan?
Yeah.
All right.
Number 1.
She should win this.
Day 1 Oos. Okay, let's see what we get here for KRÜ Truths and a Lie. I'm quite excited. All right, during Americas, KRÜ had a positive win rate on 1 map. KRÜ was the only winless team in the 3 international leagues,
That's
and
a lot.
Klaus is the only remaining player from the original KRÜ roster. Ooh, I could see the
third?
steam
The
coming
third
out of
is
the
not.
heads of everyone right now. What-
Because the third is not because it's still Kesnit in
Okay.
the team, so it isn't.
His cousin left for a bit, but he
Yeah.
came back, so
He
he's still
kind
there.
of
Okay.
left for a bit.
Okay, yeah, I left for so Suga's a knower. Okay, great.
Okay.
So then what were we going for
think
here?
I know that DFM also went winless, so it
That's
has
true.
to be the first one. That's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah?
Wait, you mean
okay.
the second one?
No, the second one's true.
During
There was another one.
Oh, I
So you're saying number 1 is the lie is during America's.
on a map.
Dude, this is hard.
Okay, well, what do you got?
Yo,
Pick
why
one.
do I have to go first?
Okay, fine. So, Suga, which one do you go for?
I guess the first one.
I like to put the pressure on you, Athena.
Yeah,
All right, first one. All right, Mimi, because apparently Athena's got to go last. What you did?
I think so.
Okay, I can't hear things. Okay, and
Not even listening.
And you,
That's
I know, right?
crazy.
Great host. All right, what about you?
I think I'm gonna go for number one as well.
All right, number one locked in. Let's see what the lie is.
Oh,
Number two,
no.
KRÜ's the only winless team in the 3 international
When did
leagues.
DFM
I
win?
doubted myself.
Wait, did DFM win?
Oof.
I don't know.
Well, we'll have
I'm
to find
going
out
crazy.
next time. Let's go on to the next one. All right, KRÜ has qualified for 7 international events. KRÜ has always worn the color pink, and Kesnet has never played Cypher in a Tier 1 match. There is a
Oh my
lot
God.
of
There's
detail
no way
here.
Kesnet's
All right.
played Cypher.
Number 3, I guess I haven't seen Kesnet play Cypher even in ranked games. I remember him playing like so bad sometimes, but in a Tier 1 match, I don't think so.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
actually a good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay.
I was actually thinking about that too, because
Okay, so 3.
Number
It
one
ain't
is
real.
definitely true, because you can clown on KRÜ for last year, but they always made it to international
Damn
events
right they do.
before that.
Yep,
They were the
that's
only
right.
team for a long time to make it to every single
And also,
one. And I can't remember them never not being pink. So it's got to
look,
be 3.
even if 2 is the lie, my headcanon, they've always worn pink. So that's how it is.
You just choose it to be.
I'm just choosing to believe. All right, let's see what the lie is. And it is number 3.
Yeah.
Kesnet has never played Cypher in a Tier 1 match because your boy doesn't play Cypher.
Jet only.
Jet only,
race.
fam. All right, well, I mean, I think overall we learned a lot today, huh?
Yeah.
Don't you say so? Look at us, being all educational and stuff. In any case, so guys, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and then we're going to dive into today's matchup. And as always, see you on the other side. Welcome back, everyone, to VCT Americas. Want to thank Suga from our LATAM broadcast team for joining us here. Of course, you can check her out on the LATAM show right here in the studio. And actually, I think she's going to be casting right now, more than likely. So shout out to you, Suga. Thank you so much for joining us. But let's go ahead and hop into today's matchup. And we are going to talk about KRÜ first, because the last time we saw this team, they were going on a run, the run of all runs. And even though it didn't necessarily play out for them at Champs, they went on a run to get there to begin with after a really rough, to put it lightly, season, Athena.
yeah, I mean, they were looking so rough. I mean, they went, 0-9 at the beginning.
Didn't win
and
a
then
match.
Didn't win a match, a single match. And then they had this crazy run. And when you have that momentum, you have these big dreams and you want to see them carry that momentum forward. But when it came to Champs, we didn't get to see that. I think that being said, KRÜ still has a really good foundation to kind of build off, because when you do have that kind of momentum, it is something that's, you can use to your positive impact.
That 09 was so heartbreaking because every one of those games was so close. We
Yeah.
knew this KRÜ roster could compete against pretty much everyone in Americas, but they just couldn't get it over the line. But now coming into this year, having broken that streak, they've reinvented themselves a little bit. Some new players coming into the roster. MTA, a new Tier 2 player, coming up into the the roster, a bit more of an unknown name, and Shy, who was making waves with Leviathan last year.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are excited to see what Shy could do with this team, but also, you know, the ace of this squad, right? Kesnet. I got my eyes really focused on this guy. You always have to. I want to know what the work has been like for this team in the offseason. I have no doubt in my mind that they have put that time in. Because at this point, you have to, right? You had that season, and it's one hell of a first pancake to have, you know, because it lasted a really long time. But now you got to come out the gate strong, I say, and really dispel fears of a potential, you know, catastrophic season here. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely have to. I think for this team, what I'm looking for is them to start strong, get a win early, and not fall back into that same hole that was all of last year where, I mean, you as a player can probably speak to this. Once you start losing, you really just need that one win as the catalyst to get back in, and then that can completely reinvigorate a team, as we saw last year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's such a big push. That one win, it just like kind of validates everything that you've been pushing for and you've been working for. And when you're coming off of a loss, like 9 losses in a row, you need some crazy mental fortitude in order to keep that up and like push towards getting that first win. So I think it is a really, really big deal because having that mental and having that kind of stability as a team and being able to push, even as a leader, like being able to push your team to be motivated and keep trying to work hard, like that's really hard in itself.
And that's why these first few matches in Kickoff are going to be so important for KRÜ.
I couldn't agree more, but a lot of pressure, though, on one of the new additions to this team, Shy, coming over from Leviathan. And Leviathan, we saw yesterday what this team is capable of doing now, and Shy saw his former teammates really take the task to their opponents yesterday. So now, well, he's got to go ahead and show that this was a call that works out for him and works out for KRÜ.
Shy really impressed me last year. I was a huge fan of this guy and still am. I think his strongest characteristic is how he plays as a side anchor. He's really good at breaking off fights, finding them individually, and he has such raw mechanical skill to constantly be able to win them. Leviathan was a team that had a lot of structure, had a lot of set plays, but when it required flexibility, he was often the guy saving those rounds as an anchor, saving those rounds as a lurker on that attacking side. I think he's a really key rock for this team to pick up and integrate into this core. And on top of that, also just a very experienced player, someone who can add a voice to the squad.
Yeah, for sure. I always wondered if Shy would be kind of shying away from being like the best player that he could be.
I love that. I love it. That's for me. That's for me.
Only because experience-wise, yes, he doesn't have as much experience as everyone else on the roster, and I feel like that was something that for me as a player, when I'm watching out for, I'm a little bit worried, a little bit skeptical that coming into kind of the big leagues like this, that maybe that might affect performance. But I 100% agree with you. I think he is super stable. I think he is. We've talked about having a rock on the team, and I think that is super specific to him. I think he holds his role really, really well. And when you have a newbie to the team that kind of does that, that's perfect. That's exactly what you need.
Yeah. He adds an element of consistency that was really missing from KRÜ last year.
Yeah, and, well, I actually like to use the word consistency because the next team really does define that because they had stayed together. The core of this squad has stayed together for such a long time. We can finally say that Fallon and the boys are in VCT, finally, as we have G2 being a historic 11th team that has joined the Americas region after winning Ascension. It has been a long, tumultuous journey for this squad, and you see the swap outs they made, but what a swap out they made. Leaf is coming into the lineup. Oh my.
And I mean, the history of this roster is insane. These pictures here are from 2 years ago when these guys made an international event in Reykjavik. They were rookies back then. They impressed the world. But for the last 2 years since, they have had their nose to the grindstone in Tier 2, and they have constantly been improving. They're rookies, in quotes, coming in because it's their first year in Americas, but I actually think they are the second most experienced core together that we have in Americas. Every other roster is chopping and changing, picking up new pieces, reinventing themselves. This is the same G2 roster that we have known and loved for a very, very long time. But it is still a big change to come to the big leagues and now play against international competition in Americas.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're completely changing the environment. You're actually finally playing and pushing yourself to those limits to play as a player and as a team to kind of prove yourself. And I think that that's also a little element that you kind of have to think about is that they are a team that everyone is looking out for. They are kind of the Tier 2 representatives that kind of made it. They qualified. They did it. And so now they have this huge pressure on their shoulders of, hey, can Can you actually perform coming into it? And I think, like, predictions-wise, I 100% agree with you. I think that they can do it, but at the same time, like, there's always that little bit of mental issue that comes to play here. And I do think that this addition, this leaf change might be something to contribute to helping that out.
Yeah, well, that actually takes us right into it because, well, I mean, Leaf, he's coming into this team from C9. I think last year, Mimi, you and I were going crazy about this guy.
I love this guy.
I love watching him play. I love how he creates opportunities. I love how he makes plays for himself. This guy has everything that you could possibly want. So to see him with this core is very scary.
It is a crime that we did not get to see Leaf at any international events last year because he was incredible in Americas. Statistically, the third best player. That's an elite with Team N1, with Aspas, with all these big names, and he was performing with the best of them. But he's not just some kid who shoots well on Jet. He can play any agent at a high level. The guy's on Viper, he's still fragging. He's a voice for the team. He's adding ideas. He feels like, to me, the perfect addition to a squad who is making this leap into the Tier 1.
Yeah, for sure. He brings so much to a team that a team like G2 might actually need to propel themselves forward into that position because he's just so well-rounded and so good. And this roster, like you said, if the foundations are good, it is good. They have been together for so long. So they only just needed that extra firepower, that extra kind of star player, the kind of well-rounded player to kind of form and make that group as good as it gets.
But this is a different team than with Cloud9. And on G2, I think he's going to be less of a voice than he was before. This is a team with a lot of voices. Valen is an IGL who controls a lot, even when it comes down to the micro for his teams. And Net as well is already kind of in that secondary caller role. So if anything, I think this roster will be Leaf being less of that flexible big voice in the team and more of just an individual star. But the reason that is because of this guy, Valen, who we have been waiting for in Tier 1 for so long, Mirna.
Yeah, having a big voice is a big thing because the second that things get confusing and too much clutter, it's just way too much for a team. If you have 5 big voices, everyone's going to get confused and hesitate. But the way that G2 have been playing with Valen, with the way that they've been forming their kind of strats around them has shown that they have such good composition. Like, they're not afraid. They're not confused. They don't hesitate on their executes, especially if they have Leaf now adding to that. Yeah, he might not use his voice as much as possible, but he can still have that flexibility and like
even the click heads.
Yeah, exactly.
Even besides that, think about when they're in prac, when they're coming up with ideas in this new meta. That's something Leaf also helps with a lot. But Valen has a very clear read on how he likes to play the game, on how he wants a team to be. And I think that this team in the past has done an excellent job at implementing that vision. And I honestly feel like Leaf is going to fit into it well.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a little bit of scariness, though, I will say, because when you do try to incorporate a new player,
we've seen it go wrong before. Like, look at 100 Thieves last year. We thought it would be 1-for-1 with Cryo, and it didn't really work out.
Yeah, like sometimes you're just scared that maybe there will be too many voices.
Maybe the system doesn't work.
Exactly.
Maybe you're not fitting in there personality-wise, but something tells me that when we talk about Valen and the kind of general that he is, the ring general, if you will, he definitely will be in control there. So I'm still excited. I know I sound like I'm going a little too... Hey, he's been on the desk a few times, my boy, you know.
You call him a general. Literally, when Tex was doing an interview with Pedro Romero in the offseason, he said that being called by Valen as an IGL was like being a pawn in his system, that he would like control every little thing about the team.
So funny.
He is a very thorough IGL. That's the word that Tex used to describe him.
Couldn't agree more. It's going to be exciting to see this team take the stage here, as well as KRÜ. 2 fantastic squads that we're going to be treated to. But since today marks the debut of G2 at VCT Americas, let's actually go ahead and take a look at the journey that brought them to our stage.
I'm really trying to prove this year that, you know, we've been deserving to be here all along. We were formed back in 2021, and we first competed in open qualifiers with no one really knowing who we are. And we ended up making it all the way to the main event, which was like a 128-team open bracket, and we made it all the way to like the top 8. After that, we're like, whoa, what?
With our original team, the Guard, we were able to go on a great run qualifying for our first international LAN.
That's what kind of kick-started all of our careers. People had eyes on us and eyes on the Guard specifically. Unfortunately, we weren't accepted into the VCT Americas League.
Our roster had to break up because Saya player moved on to playing in APAC, and now he's playing for T1, so I'm very happy for him.
There was obviously opportunities for people to go and join teams, or big opportunities for them individually, but we kind of talked about it, and I think everyone was in the same agreement that we should stay together for the better of each other, honestly. We learned a lot together. People were able to be bold in those moments and say, hey, like maybe you should have done this better. And we're all really young, so we were just learning about life honestly together, maturing more, and with that you become a better player and a better teammate. So really we just had each other's backs from that point, and maybe we felt like, hey, maybe this little setback won't be too bad. Like, it'll be an extra year for us to develop. Even though we want to be under the big lights competing in VCT, we kind of took it on the chin a little bit and said, hey, let's develop together because we have something good going, and let's try to make it the hard way.
And it goes 2 for 1 in favor of M80's defense. Joe DeP, though, very well, may have to a couple in his sights, and he does. Gets 3 in total. Warthorn up top, how about it? The guard will hold on amidst the rolling thunder.
And that's the team play of the guard coming through.
We had to go through a Challengers circuit. It was a bumpy road in Challengers. Like, we didn't win anything early. We didn't win like the mid-season invitational. We never topped our group. Like, we were always kind of whatever. But once we got into that land environment in person and we felt the energy, like a whole new team came out.
John gets 1. This surely cannot happen. Someone's got to hop onto it though, and Valen, cleans everything up around it. It's a 1v2 clutch. Oh my goodness, hold on a second. Just down to Trent. John Cutie gets to the halfway recon pull down, and the shot lands. No way.
Look at that, challenging again.
He hits the head of 1. Oh my goodness. Trent to find the final kill. Been 471 days since the rookies made it to Reykjavik, but today is the day where veterans qualify for VCT. You're Ascension champions in the Americas region.
From there, we transitioned into G2, and you know, the history books are waiting to be written for this year.
We picked up a new player from Cloud9, which is Leaf, and I have nothing but great things to say about him. I think he's an incredible player, incredible teammate.
You know, the sky's the limit for a team like us who have been through so many challenges. This won't be new to us.
I'm gonna keep it $150 with y'all. If that didn't make you a fan of G2, I don't know what would. What a team. We're gonna see their journey happen here at the VCT America stage. So our coaches are standing by and ready for map selection. So let's take a listen.
Hi guys, welcome today. As you know, teams were decided via coin flip. So G2 is team A, KRÜ is team B. So you will have first map ban.
We'll ban Lotus.
G2 ban Lotus.
We ban Bind.
KRÜ ban Bind. And you have first map pick.
We'll pick Icebox.
G2 pick Icebox. What would you like?
We play defense.
KRÜ pick defense. And what map would you like?
We play Sunset.
KRÜ pick Sunset. And would you like attack or defense?
We'll take defense.
G2 pick defense. And you have a 1 map ban.
We'll ban Split.
G2 ban Split. And what would you like to ban?
Breeze.
KRÜ ban Breeze. Decider map is Ascent. And what side would you like?
We'll pick defense.
G2 pick defense. So just to run back through it, G2 banned Lotus, KRÜ banned Bind, G2 picked Icebox, KRÜ picked Defense, KRÜ picked Sunset, G2 picked Defense, G2 banned Split, KRÜ banned Breeze, Decider map was Ascent, and G2 picked Defense. Best of luck today, boys.
We haven't seen this new G2 roster play yet, and for my money, this Icebox map that we're starting on is our best chance to see what identity they want to have, because I think that map right now has a lot of different directions you can go. We've seen teams taking into the Gecko, the Harbor Viper, the old default comp. This is really, for me, looking into the minds of Josh and Valent of what they thought up in this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, Icebox is such a structured map that you can either play it in a specific way of just like pushing, rushing, executing, or defaulting super heavy, or trying to like, you know, ping pong and like hit sides, fake some util. You know, I think Icebox is gonna be a really good playground for them, but I'm excited to see Sunset.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be so fun to watch.
Yeah, and for KRÜ picking into that one as well, I think it's gonna be cool. I'm guessing we're gonna see the Kesnet raised on that map, which is always electric but there are so many good matchups in this one. It's KRÜ trying to break free of a terrible last year, and G2 brand new. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be awesome. We're stoked. We're excited. We've got only one match on the docket today, and the winner moves on to face our 2023 champions. It's time for KRÜ versus G2. Day 3 of VCT America's Kickoff starts right now.
So our debut match of VCT 2024 is against KRÜ. KRÜ's obviously a strong opponent, and they've shown that they can be one of the best, like at LCQ last year.
Sé que ascendieron, entonces deben tener algo que debe sorprender a la gente, pero nada, yo creo que ansioso por jugar contra ellos y enfrentarme a un nuevo equipo.
Someone that sticks out to me is like Hesnet, because he's such a strong duelist and he creates so much space, and you really gotta just put respect on a player like that who can take over and win a game for his team.
Siento que van a ser partidos duros, partidos que vamos a tener que estar todos conectados. No sirve con estar 2, 3 personas como a full. Siento que vamos a necesitar de todo el equipo.
I'm just very, very excited to showcase my team finally on VCT, and good luck to KRÜ, because I think it's going to be a hard match for you guys.
Riot Games Arena, it's time to kick off this Sunday and introduce our first team to the stage. Making their debut for the VCT Americas, give it up for G2!
Y sus oponentes ya están listos. Denle la bienvenida a la escuadra latina. Ellos son KRÜ Esports.
Before we start the match, we want to honor the memory of KRÜ's Santiago Davies Ruiz, who tragically lost his life last year. Please join us as we pay respects with a moment of silence.
Thank you all so much, and it goes without saying that for Santiago, his family, his friends, we love you, we miss you, and this is for you. So, that being said, these players on that stage are going to be rocking it with the seventh man, who is going to be overlooking them, and they can really, like, I guess, carry that carry him with him to the games, which is very beautiful.
When he was with KRÜ, he put his everything into it. He was one of the big reasons they ended up going on that run at the end of the year. But now they have a new roster. It's a new year. It's KRÜ starting again, and it's G2 for the first time taking this stage. These boys have stayed together for the last 2 years, gave up opportunities to come to Americas earlier so they could stick together. And they took last year in Tier 2 as a learning opportunity to come to Americas now in 2024 as a team with an incredible amount of experience.
Yeah, what a story for G2. That is such a cute, heartwarming story to kind of have together as a team. And both these teams have so much to prove coming into this. I think this first match, like we said earlier, for KRÜ, this is their momentum match. And for G2, it's kind of their, their debut into this scene. So it's going to be exciting.
What is, to that point, right? Yes, every team, every player, everyone that goes onto that stage gives it 110% each and every time. But there's something different about these two teams, right? Because for G2, they were sitting on the outside looking in and seeing this league take form without them when they clearly belonged in this position. And then you had KRÜ, who struggled throughout that season. So both teams here are really looking to make a statement here for G2. The statement is, let's establish ourselves in the league. For KRÜ, let's go ahead and show everyone what we're made of, and that last year is behind us.
Yeah, they don't want to start again, like losing the first couple matches as well, too. So it's like, they really have to put themselves out there and make sure that they get the momentum that they're trying to go for.
The two players I'm watching are the two new additions to these respective squads. Shy was a critical part of Leviathan's success last year. He's so good in the Sentinel role. He is a rock for his team that I think will add a lot of consistency to KRÜ that has been missing. On the other side for Leaf, this is his chance to continue to show us how good he is. Remember, a top 3 player last year in Americas, now joining in with this G2 squad, which already has a great system put together. For my money, I think it should be an easy swap in, and it looks like we might get to spot him on the jet there, which is, no better way to start the league.
You want to come out of the gate, swinging. Well, why not, throw some knives at people too? Why not, It's going to be exciting there. We're going into the Agent Select. Net locks in Killjoy at the start as we see what the KRÜ boys elect to go for here. Mimi, what you got?
I want to ask you,
okay, never mind. Turn it on her.
What do you think is the best comp right now on Icebox? We've seen experimentation. We've seen the old comp come back. What do you reckon these teams are going for?
I've been seeing a lot of Viper kind of being thrown away on this map. I've seen a lot of different controllers kind of
people going towards the Harbor?
People going towards Harbor, people going towards Omen.
Okay.
Even as a solo controller, it's been happening. And I
there's
feel
a
like
Brimstone coming out.
I don't know what is good. That's what I'm saying. I feel like the controller meta has completely changed. I don't know if they're gonna try to go for a double controller, but I feel like right now that single controller, not Viper, but we do see a Viper as I say that, is gonna be something that's super interesting. And I don't know. Seeing Killjoy makes me a little bit disappointed. I thought I was gonna start seeing some crazy deadlock stuff, but unfortunately
I'm not on board with that. I think Killjoy is here to stay on this map. But I'm interested to see the Brimstone. I think strengths for that agent on defense, retakes.
Like the KO.
So many one-ways you can throw down to be able to create space for your team to get back in and find advantageous duels. On attack, those one-ways also work in post plants, and you have super strong post plant utility with that Brim, Viper, and Sova all in the mix. What you're sacrificing is the Sage, which means you have to be committing deep, fighting forward in these post plants. But the Brim helps with that too. You can smoke backside on that B, push all the way back through into Snowman. It unlocks a lot of options to make up for what you're lacking without that wall.
Yeah, exactly. And then the double controller makes it so that you can push, you can throw, but it's not that big of a deal. So again, interesting.
See what happens, and let's do this. Riot Games Arena, can you please make some noise as we get ready for our first matchup, our only matchup of the day. It's going to be a good one. And on the call, as per the usual, it's Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Excited for this one. Yeah, G2, some call them the hydrogen bomb, but does that make KRÜ the coffin baby? We're about to find out, honestly. But honestly, after that LCQ run, Josh, I think that's even less likely. This is a team. They've got firepower, and they can go the distance, really, and go toe-to-toe with a lot of good teams.
That's the thing. We know that KRÜ are capable of reaching heights. The question is, are they going to be able to do it in regular season matches, in a kickoff tournament format like this? Because outside of LCQ, we all know the story of KRÜ. They were close, but they never quite made it to a match victory. And that also happened during the off-season as well. So at the moment, their only wins throughout 2023, their only wins since 2022 were during LCQ when they went on that famous run. So this is a lot of pressure, I think, on KRÜ to start out the gate strong.
Talking about starting out strong here. Clash and a skirmish as soon as the barriers go down. A lot of players about to be meeting each other. Molly towards the side, contact plays walking into it. Net's going to be the first one to take the contact, not quite. It's all Leaf in the feed, fills up with red. That's a G2 overwhelming victory.
And it looks like G2 have seen a pistol like that before. They weren't even trying to take space. They were just waiting for aggression coming out through B. And then they step on the accelerator, knowing that Shy would be on the opposite side of the map. And a fairly free plant here. Shy doesn't want to give away his position just yet. Thought he might be able to get a sneaky one on Leaf, but he's got one hell of a task here in a 1v3.
A little bit too much to do. No Molly as well to just try and push somebody out of position.
Turn it down.
3 players to contest and tangle with. Not going to be an easy fight handed to him now. A bit of damage done to Trent. There might be an option here, but not even a tap onto the spike to try and force one of these fights out. Lovely shot onto the head of Leaf as well, but he's still alive and kicking. Jumping up to the high ground now, and yet just playing around it. 4 kills for Leaf. What an opening.
If there were any doubts that Leaf is going to continue performing on G2, I think we can... Well, we'll have to wait until the end of the match for sure, but at least in the pistol, it's looking fabulous. He just got gifted 2 right at the start there. Great position, like I said. Anticipation that it was coming. On paper, this is an outrageous move. Adding Leaf, I think the second best performing player of the regular season in Americas last year, to this G2 team should be spectacular. As the desk was saying, we've seen moves like this before that didn't end up actually working how you would expect them to on paper. And if anyone knows how to defy expectations, it would be KRÜ.
Certainly. Big stack on the eco. Hoping for a couple of kills here from KRÜ. That's a pop flash play inside their own smoke. Elza goes down though, in the midst of all of that.
That smoke could not have been more perfectly timed there from MTA.
Toxin screen down.
Flash. I'm trying to escape as well. All of the fire that's coming their way. Now, it's good from G2 just to slow it. To crawl, seeing if they can pick apart any of these players. They spotted out that there is a stack here. They have options if they want to go elsewhere. Kesnet. The Marshall.
Always a dangerous player.
Yeah, always, always, always. Revealed his hand now over the smoke blocking off the sight line here. Trent really pushing forward as the wall goes down, yet caught unaware. MPA. There will be a free plant. One player left alone here, that is just Kesnet. Dart, they want to chase him down.
Look how solid that brimstone smoke is as well. A 4K in the previous round for Leaf, 4K in this round for Jonah P, who interestingly is on the Sova, a role that you would normally associate with Trent, though, you know, very happy to rotate around the initiators. But did you see the brim smoke towards the back, allowing them to get much deeper positioning and establish control over sight? Unlike the Viper wall, which they're also throwing, you can see that there from Trent on the minimap, the brim smoke actually allows you to clear sight and look down towards orange, make sure that there's no threats. One of the reasons that they're running that. But it also gives you good post-plant mollies, which the Harbor wouldn't.
A lot of good options with the Brimstone. You got to think. Leaf has earned his way to the Blade Storm. That's from those prior kills in that first round.
And Kesnet, despite the fact that G2 punished them for pushing out B on the pistol, is not afraid.
No.
Doesn't know fear. Never met him.
That guy is, I mean, Kesnet's a menace. And he gets going as well. Real high skill player. Just putting it out there, just an attempt to try and break the turret, a bit of mid-rounding still. Let's get rid of it, a bit pesky.
And look how they're using the brim smoke again. Valen put a brim smoke over towards orange to make sure that they only had to worry about that one angle.
It's being re-cleared by KRÜ now.
But this has pulled people away from the A site, and that's Valen's idea.
Who's this guy? Stops down.
Back what a lineup.
Really great lineups, honestly. Look at all this utility. It's going to be used to clear through. Leap over the top. Oh, MTA!
What a shot.
To the big stage, yeah. Beautiful shot at that. With Leaf being brought down now, this is really difficult. 35 seconds left. How are you going to get the spike down? You're going to try and fight for that backside control. Molly onto the top of the rafters, but already the kills. An even trade right now. It's going to be favoring KRÜ in this situation and more. Kesnet's here to play. rips away the hopes and dreams. Trying to have a nice and easy round, leaving it just up to Trent. And the dice, fading it out here, but brought down in the end. So KRÜ not losing against the bonus round.
Some awesome shots in there from the KRÜ players.
Yeah.
NTA's punish onto Leaf was sublime. It just took the sting out of that exec completely. And then, of course, Kesnit mopping up towards the end, as you would always expect him to do. And take a look at this on the replay. I mean, wow. Leaf can barely react. He's coming around the back of the brim smoke.
A wonderful job. KRÜ are really proactive as well. As soon as the turret was destroyed in that round, they were clearing of 2-3 players into mid, making sure that they weren't pushed up behind that brim smoke that you pointed out. They knew immediately it was going over to be the 8 hit.
And here we see a brim smoke on top of Boiler, threatening like you could go for some kind of push. Shy has an alarm bot there, so they're not crazy worried, but double brim smokes do threaten like they could have walked underneath Tube. And that's pulled 3 players on top of the one that would usually be there. You can see how the brim is going to open up the edges of the map for G2 to play, because it creates so much threat in the middle by obscuring these sightlines that G2 should be able to walk in easier
Right
to
here.
A and B.
Spike drop.
Winning it out. Orb up now facing together here. Lots of players ready and waiting, including Kesnit. He's getting a bit of a move on here with a flash. Okay, that. There's a dart and a flash combo, but as well, just doesn't really connect in time. So Kesnit gets brought down, removed. Away from that one, the first death potentially there for them. But okay, return the fire. There's a bit of a gap there in the smoke. That's what Klaus was using. So 4 versus 4 now. Again, 35 seconds left. Time is running short here. If they want to try and commit to this B side, Jonah P really just taking all the space up onto the side, getting that plant down into a safe corner. MTA taking out Melza there as well, though. That's a spike drop down.
But now he's left in the 1v3, so this is still very difficult.
Yeah.
And G2 punish. So G2 really nicely working the map. I like this Brimstone pick so far on the attack side. Valen's certainly finding a lot of value with it because it's drawing KRÜ away from the edges. And you saw there, I mean, that's the slightly missed brim smoke that you were talking about, Brent. But actually, the damage had kind of been done prior to that because they wanted to contest yellow, but they were so far away that in running up to try and play off the back of that flash recon, Kesnit ended up overextending himself a little bit and giving his life away.
Forced down to the half-five for KRÜ. Again, a stack all day. I mean, guessing correctly here. Shock Molly combo.
Yeah, that's a good util combo, and KRÜ almost got caught.
Up into Nesto. Got to try and get that spam. That kill Shy is really far forward and he can't escape it. What are the gambles from KRÜ? They really are, guessing correctly in terms of where the bulk of the forces of G2 are going to be. Kesnit's got the dash, though. A real chance of him to just rip ahead straight off, but Valen's got the cover.
Great freeze in the round, again called by Valen.
2 more players here, but with the weaponry, maybe they'll make short work of it. Yeah, moving forwards, Klaus. And MTA don't really stand a chance there, hopping across the ropes.
Oh, they're just so speedy, zipping along the ropes, firing at them with the Vandal. It's unfair. And Melza has spent this round thinking about pushing out B, saw the alarm bot. Net was in spawn the entire time, making sure that that couldn't even be a threat. And Melza's just had the worst time of things here. But such is the life of a Viper on Icebox. I can tell you it is sometimes misery.
Just play and retake. When the A hits come in, your team don't stop them. You're like, oh god. Nice kill.
Good shot.
2 away from the ults.
And that could be a big difference maker if he can get one more.
One more. Build it up.
One headshot would do it for Leaf at any distance.
That's all he needs. Players, though, pushing up on top of him.
And not quite.
And that picking them out.
That really is a large difference. If Melza had his ult online, there are a lot more things that KRÜ can do with rotating around their defensive setups. But it's quite hard to play for an orb, to be honest. I mean, green is more difficult to hold on to now than it was before in the old Icebox, where you could have your Jet fight over it aggressively. And you've seen the Shock Molly combos that G2 are happy to put together over towards A. Wouldn't be surprised to see another one of those happen, just to deny an ult orb from Klaus or Melza, who are very close.
Their defense
Doesn't look like that's what they're going for, though.
could be better.
Trent prioritizing that orb, the smoke towards mid, as Kesnit's got an op online.
Exactly. The big boom gun. Pushing down towards B, but he doesn't really like his chances there to reposition now. Won't be too many players unless Net decides to take a lurk. out through B. Seems unlikely, though. He's just playing it safe, making sure that he can just hold for the push. There's probably no action there.
And you heard it from Tex earlier on.
Jonas going for it. Okay, going for this one here.
I'm surprised he committed to it. And then he got suppressed anyway.
Yeah, that was MTA's ult forced out, I believe.
That's a win for Jonah P. I'd take that trade any day of the week as the attacking team, especially with no dart pick.
No one was scaling with the Hunter's Fury either, but it made it feel like almost it was a push. Pulled out the ult ahead of time. Now 50 seconds left. The team can start to regroup. So G2 here over towards A, but again, it's a lot of players from KRÜ ready to meet them. That's a great knife.
Yeah. KRÜ got the right read for sure.
Util's just getting nothing done here. This is looking a little bit awkward. Orbital strike. Cuts up the site here. Leaf dashing ahead there. MTA once more taking care of him and finishing it. All goes down now. Still the Brim Smokes are dividing up the sites, but can G2 conquer? That is the question here with the plant going down. Though the fights are all the way going in favor of KRÜ. They've got it on lock with the entirety of that site. Second round earned.
That's another instance where KRÜ are able to take down Leaf very early on as the exec comes through. I think a lot of it is just spamming based on where they expect him to be scaling. Take a look at it in the replay here. Yeah, it's just into the smoke. It's not like Leaf gets seen.
I must have heard the updraft, I think.
Yeah, just predicting where his pathing is going to be.
Yeah.
And that is taking a lot of the edge out of G2's rounds. Still up 4-2, but KRÜ are doing a decent job here.
Down towards mid. Finally, that Viper's Pit.
Pac-Man ult.
Yep, drop that one down onto A. Makes it nice and easy. And you can stack defenders out towards mid here. Shy with the alarm bot. Broken. Klaus over the top of Boiler. That's net taken out. I think that was just a bit of a spam kill. Dart is going to be good here. It's going to be connecting. Now they know with that shot fired. Hunter's Fury to force them out into the open, into the window. You can't escape from it still. There it is. Damage applied. With Trent falling now, Valen is left to just try and rush into it. Take some risks here, but he's lit up once more. Should be an easy kill. Should be, but isn't.
And now the Viper.
No way!
And Melza has just given an open entry to Jonah P as well. These two players from G2 can now regroup and fight on even footing.
Planted.
Molly missing a little bit late here. Balance definitely weak, but it's 2 versus 2. Flash, that's a nice one. Just over the side of Jenny, but they haven't cleared this corner to tap onto it with the smoke as well. Out towards the side, and each individual player wins their fight. G2.
How have they gotten away with it? How have they gotten away with that? It's Valen just muscling his way through an awful situation. I think KRÜ played that excellently. Klaus' awareness that someone was coming through the smoke, perfect. Then the dart and the ult, excellent. The punish in here should have been perfect. And yet Valen just outskills a couple of players. And the round is flipped on its head.
Pure individualism from the IGL.
And that's annoyed me, that, as well, because that's gonna count in the stats as a successful mid to A hit.
Ah, okay.
And those almost never work.
Why? Do you have personal stocks in that, Phelan?
I do.
Okay.
G2 playing another slow beginning to this round, anticipating some level of aggression from Kesnet. It's not a bad gamble. And there, the turret is smoked off. A different Brimstone smoke position. But I think the goal there is just to try to pull players away. They're hoping Kesnet is not on this angle.
Can't get a dash off.
Another great trade. Valen's having a monster performance so far.
That's fantastic. If you can shut down Kesnet, it's a massive win condition for you when you're playing against this KRÜ team. Hyper Molly, perfect placement as well. Forces TA towards the back side of the site. And again, it's that from smoke flash through it. 2 kills for him. Going to try and find a third. Why not? The orbital strike was just a little bit ajar there. 2 players suppressing it where the last 2 are. Are we really expecting Valen to try and do it again? I don't think it's likely, is it?
Surely not.
Contacting both of them now. There's only real chance here. Okay.
Surely not.
There's one, but it's dealt with. The deep position of net. Jump spot as well. Good discipline. Klaus is off to the side here. No way, Valen. No way! 4 for him. On for the ace. A clutch like that! Denied by Shy. Oh my goodness. You hold your breath and believe for a moment.
Oh, the KRÜ fans getting behind them. But that is now 2 rounds where they should have just easily dealt with what G2 were doing. One slipped away, the other way too close. MTA, though, these flashes have been excellent. He's a player that's got the call up. Tier 2 player coming in to replace Nags.
Yeah.
Having his place on the roster as the flex player and looking immediately on stage like he's got some great ideas, good timing, not afraid, not letting the nerves get to him.
The firepower's there.
Certainly is. So now G2 are going to take a tactical timeout. There's a few things here, and the Brim Smokes were pulling a lot of people towards the middle lane at the start of this. Now, not so much. Now, Valen smoked off the turret in that round, and Kesnit was still trying to fight B. So there is now a possibility that you can follow those Brim Smokes a little more and use them to lurk through mid. We'll see how G2 decide to fight for this. One of the other things that KRÜ are going to have to be thinking about as well is that the Viper wall going up, Brim Smoke's behind. When the Viper drops the wall, when Trent drops that wall, suddenly everyone from G2 is fighting on site. So that makes it really difficult to hard anchor. MTA did a great job of stopping it that time. Is it replicable?
Still money enough to buy here, especially Kesnit with his own ult online. I think another round will be good for them. Straight into it, the knife was dodged. Here's the turret, Dash is there. There's those changes. You can catch on to him, but he heard all the noise cues as well and swung, forced Kesnit away. Gotta respect that.
So slow from G2. The first 20 seconds burnt off, but dodged that threat from Kesnit and now trying to drone to push him away.
Yeah, they see the jump spot, at least they should have caught.
Do you really want to go into Kesnit here?
Yeah, it seems like a fool's errand. We know what this guy is capable of.
There are now 4 KRÜ players ready to fight.
Flash play. There was anti-flash positioned by G2. They were seeking to try and punish an attempt like that. But time is being whistled away. Down to the minute mark. Here we go. Dart towards the back of yellow. We'll clear it.
And here comes that mid lurk.
Yeah. Knife is good still, though, but that mid lurk shut down. A Shy.
Destroyed.
This time playing in front of it. Use the same Brim Smokes, but there's the adjustments being made by KRÜ, and they are really having a good time at this one now. A lot of damage done to these players of G2. They are weak. Finding it more than difficult to try and get themselves into the site. Trent down, no Viper wall as well to cut this one up. They have to try and play together if they want a chance to win. Kesnit, he will fall, but it's a trade by Shy. Monstrous performance so far. Jonah P, still there. Active into the fight. No kill claimed. Shy. Real damage done. Have to go for the plant. It's going to be a wide swing, maybe. Forced off with the volley. Shy with the ace.
Call me Pixicot again.
But a round from the Rhinoceros. He shut down that lurk play on the B split without even an effort.
Really good awareness.
Take a look at this on the replay. Just boom, boom. He actually headshot through Trent's body there. And then cleans everybody else up towards the end.
A reminder, iBUYPOWER giving away a PC for every single ace. Hashtag unlock your ace on socials to earn your chance.
And now KRÜ have broken the G2 economy. So G2's plans of trying to make use of that have not worked. Look at how many players on KRÜ there are.
Already beating them.
4 stacked up on defense.
All pops off here, taking away everything in KRÜ. The feed builds up, but can they really claim the rest of these kills? On the top of Bell, 5 HP to net. Can he really seek to do a little bit more? Not quite. KRÜ. That's explosive. What a beginning.
And KRÜ have figured out how to deal with G2, which is, don't bother about spreading out around the map. Actually, just stack 4 players wherever they're making noise. And G2, because they're heavily defaulting themselves towards one side of the map or the other, are not really able to ping pong.
KRÜ are making the right reads, like you're saying, you know, just follow the noise cues or what, but you know, these stacks of players, it's paying off for them. Right back into it. This time, though, KRÜ, only one player going to be anchoring. It's Melzer.
Look at G2 again, though. All 5 players in one side of the map.
Kesnit is pushing.
And KRÜ are going to be so fast to rotate.
Again, Kesnit with the disrespect. This man does not care. He's going to be giving all this information the entire time, coming to his teams like, guys, it's going to be A. Start stacking over towards it. Now the lockdown makes it really obvious.
I thought Shine might have gone for the counter lockdown, but he wasn't quick enough. They do have that for the retake, though.
So the scaling's there from G2 with the plant down. Pit on top of it. It's going to be difficult to get through, but now, yeah, lockdown. Fuse to push them out of the pit, most likely.
The pit's fairly decent here, though, because Trent is going to be able to keep it alive, I think.
Potentially. Orbital strike. Where's this punish? That's onto the lockdown. Yeah, destroys it out, so they can still play up close and personal. A bit of spam. War through the smoke. Star needs to be dealt with, and it is. Trent. With him still alive, the pit's still up. Kissing it though, he's up close towards him. Traded by Jonah P, but Shy's there as well for the follow-up. Inside the pit now, MTA. Taking names and taking the space of the rest of his team. They pushed them all the way back to the Fuse. Tapped. But they forced them out wide. Yes, they will. KRÜ. Again. Right answers, the right pace, and they've taken the lead in the map.
What a response from KRÜ. They've really figured out how to deal with what G2 are throwing at them quickly. This is a team that struggled to close things out, struggled to find the answer all throughout the regular season to be able to put map wins on the board. And so far, so good. Even after their lockdown was taken care of. They're following up on Kesnit really nicely. MTA's got so much confidence for a new player on stage. They're looking aggressive, confident.
The trades are instantaneous as well.
Yeah.
They're not letting anything get slipped by. Good stuff. Last round now for them. Updraft, dash on top of the tube here. And remove that turret, remove the dart. Leaf's got a hell of a job to do here, and a drone in his face on top of it. What options are available to him? Kesnit just takes him out.
Do they realize that Trent slipped through? Yes. Whoa. Kesnit again.
Trent forced the scamper.
The thing is, though, this is the first round where G2 are making noise on the opposite side of the map and then trying to sneak contact their way into A. There was a shot there from Valen, though. He's just given away that at least somebody's towards A. So they might be able to get a plant down here without getting too heavily pressured.
Elder still with the mollies, but not enough to deny the plant. Alan's doing this in an unconventional location. It's going to force G2, I think, to be like a little bit up close here.
Valen himself doesn't have the Brimstone molly to play post plant, so he can play aggressive on site. Net's already placed those down. They have double shock, double snake, well, one snake right now.
Gonna have to with this one here is the take. KRÜ moving forwards. Kesnit taking out Hunter's Fury to set it up. KRÜ need to be taking space. Net there's a nade at your feet and you're down. All the way through. That's Jonah P answering back with his own, and Trent, he's still there close to the generator. All up to Klaus. And time starting to work against him. The pressure mounting, shot down forwards. That's a kill found. And one more player is low. And like I said, the spike was not planned for him. A tap, but he doesn't stick it. And the win conditions running out. Not enough time. Unlucky for Klaus, but a really, really nice attempt.
Great try, just a little too slow. And G2 in round 12 might have just managed to figure out the solution at the 11th hour. You know, being able to get that plant down and tick enough time off before KRÜ swarmed to meet them. That was a very competitive half from both teams.
Oh, yeah.
Super back and forth. But that's how every KRÜ map was during the regular season last year.
It always felt competitive. Every single time. Vancilia is actually standing by with G2 Shazam for a nice little interview.
Thank you so much, Brent Inside Show. I'm joined here by Shazam's G2, everybody! Shaz, man, welcome to the show. You had a chance to do a meet and greet today outside the Riot Games Arena. I just wanted to tell us about the experience so far.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was my first time at the arena, actually. So it was pretty chill to meet all the fans. We gave out some cookies. Had a good time.
They're actually pretty funny cookies, though. That said, Net had an interview before going to this game that they had really what it takes to really win Americas pretty much for the kickoff. You had a chance to play against him during the challenger scene. And what do you think is the biggest strength that G2 currently has here with this roster?
Yeah, I don't think he's wrong. They're one of the longest standing cores in the scene right now. And I think that built like a lot of chemistry for them. No matter the situational, it feels like they take their time, they're patient, and they know how to work together and come out of a round that's probably not favored for them.
Speaking of chemistry, there was a lot of chemistry in the Cloud games yesterday. I wanted to know, I'm pretty sure you watched the games because everybody else probably watched it, right? So tell me about what you thought about the Cloud games. Well, Loud and Sentinels, pretty much.
They're a lot of fun. They're very exciting. Loud is always like a really fun team to watch. Ascent might have gotten a little stale with some of the comps, so it was exciting to watch, something creative and new. And I enjoyed them very much.
All right, now is G2 looking so far in this Icebox? I mean, you finished a half at 6-6. Do you think they have what it takes to close the series?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be biased, but yeah, I have faith in the guys. They'll 2-0 this.
Awesome. Well, Shaz, always awesome to see you, brother. All the best, and we'll pass it back to the casters.
We'll be getting into the second half shortly, but yeah, super competitive. I mean, a 6-6 half. Can't ask for anything better.
I mean, I'm just taking a look at the scoreboard because I got blown away by the macro and how they were reacting. But having a look, seeing MTA top of the scoreboard, it really feels like he's having a lot of impact. And then I'm looking over towards the other side. Leaf got 4 kills on the pistol round, and since then he's been 3 and 10. Just getting shut down at the start of so many of these rounds, so he has yet to really come online. Half of that because I think KRÜ have just got really good anticipation of how he was playing on the attack side.
Look at the patience on show by KRÜ here. On their attack side, anticipating that aggression. You're right, you know, the Jet players, particularly Leaf, really a bit of a fall off. We'll see on the defensive side of things are a little bit easier for him.
Yeah.
Usually they are.
And you think about how KRÜ got that success at LCQ, it was by playing very disciplined 1-3-1 defaults, where the 2 players on the outside of the map would never make a mistake. Super disciplined.
Leaf feeling like he had to overstay his welcome there, but a couple of shots off, rattled Kesnet. He's in, out towards yellow now, clearing out for the rest of his team. Taking the space, but the wall's not up for the rest of them to cross. Dash active, maybe a little bit too early for Leaf. Unlikely to get value, and yet it fades away. Here's the wall. Again, no noise being made. Look at it, creeping up. They're going to pop flash through, potentially with a knife. No, a tap. Seeking some sort of response here, trying to meet them with just pure raw manpower. And they are being met with G2. Got players towards the back. Leaf and Valin respond in kind.
Great cleanup from G2. KRÜ had a great idea there as well, though. They tapped the plant and were trying to bait G2 into peeking so that they could punish them. At the same time, though, when that dissolved, MTA just a bit too aggressive, pushing on his own into Snowman, not connected with the rest of the team. It's one of the first times actually where we've seen the kind of team fighting and brawling from KRÜ disintegrate a little bit and look a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
And it might have come at the worst time because that pistol is so important at a 6-6. G2 take the lead back.
Smoke's down.
Valen's going to farm his ult orb inside the smoke. Not that the smoke is going to stop a shock molly combo, but it will stop somebody trying to get eyes on him. Look at where Net has put down his nanoswarms. So he's got 1 to try to deny the plant, and then he's also got 1 in case they try to fight aggressive onto it. So he's thinking about how MTA might want to use those flashes. You can see it almost at his feet here, blocking up that choke point into Snowman.
Spike going to be rejoining the rest of KRÜ, making their way over towards B. Nanoswarm was removed.
I would assume that Valin has some kind of molly lineup to the default plant as well, though he may use it in a retake. Slow beginnings here for KRÜ.
Really slow. 2's entire game plan just revolving around making sure they hold enough map control, but they're aware now. Plan going down.
Planted.
More than aware here. Opens up just one of the sight lines. Escaping away. Melz is on 1. Literally 1 HP. Ollie now towards the back of yellow. It's going to be forcing the players out a little bit wide. Making sure they can clear this one. Look at the way these smokes are just so good at just segmenting the entirety of this side. A push from MTA is barely dealt with enough damage done still. Everybody will fall. Bad money for KRÜ. 4 players surviving of G2. It's a healthy round to go into the bonus.
And that shows you how G2 are going to approach these B retakes. They're happy to let the spike plant go down, and in fact, the only thing they care about is stopping KRÜ from pushing into Snowman. And then once the retake comes through, smokes either side of yellow, recon to the back, molly as well, spray into the smokes, looking to try to get some cheaper kills, and then focus on putting pressure on the defuse. Seems like a sensible plan. Now KRÜ have an idea, maybe, of how they can play around it. G2 with 3 bulldogs.
There's that danger there, but KRÜ now finally rifles in hand.
Actually, all 3 of those bulldogs are over towards A. So,
deep push again from Leaf, all the way into Nest. He's removed the turret early, which KRÜ was holding for. Really shy was. Sending the sights over towards B.
It's kind of wild that you even get an angle to break that knife, actually. They denied a bit of information over towards yellow, and now KRÜ are a bit cautious of that, thinking there could be some kind of aggressive play.
The range on these brim smokes, I mean, Valin is just somehow able to get it off. It's on the opposite side of the map. I think it just moves into mid for it, but start to see the limitations of Brimstone. Why I used to see Omen played all the time in a similar capacity, but They don't seem weakened by it. Now moving up again. KRÜ, game plan, just contacting Kesnet, getting a bit of a run on. Sprinting forward to the rest of them, forcing out this util, but how much gas do they have left in the tank? The wall goes down. Kesnet faces with the dash. Still there. No targets to meet him.
And like I said, G2, as long as they hold on to Snowman, they're going to be confident in their retake strategy. Once the orb goes down, then KRÜ can attempt the plant, and you see Melzer go for it.
Time. 35 seconds. Nothing to push it back. Oh! Okay. Straight through the smokes again. Kesnet falls. A bit of an unlucky one for him.
And KRÜ have now got to think about how they're going to fight this, because they're very likely just going to get
strike
off, ulted off.
Two players pushed out of the position again. All these kills are just happening right through the smokes once more. The first bear, one was Trent. Just then, tap onto the defuse. Players out of the way, and now a stick is ordered. Trent, all the way through. They can't do anything. Can't do anything. They've got to back away. Got to save.
That's what I'm saying, this retake strategy from G2. They're never contesting the plant. KRÜ always allowed to get it down, but then G2 coming forwards, assuming the KRÜ are backing off, they have one ways in your face, they have an ult in your face, they've got recons coming in. And the spam through the smoke is really, really potent in those kind of situations. All right, KRÜ have got to come up with a way of abusing that. And I think one of the ways would be to play more aggressive post-plant positions. G2 at the moment are just getting all of the sight for free and then taking the fight towards yellow and green. KRÜ have got to make them fight for every inch on the retake.
No one pushing away from the orbs. Farming them up over towards A. And again, it's the B side for KRÜ. Maybe we'll see those adjustments we talked about. Flash. And towards the back. Clearing it through.
Yeah, Shy's getting pressured a little bit over towards A here.
And this is what G2 have been doing prior, so maybe Shy doesn't anticipate them to actually push up behind it this time. They have been breaking the turret as part of the conditioning. Players to meet him. Will he get both of them? He's called for backup as well. He's got his team there, but Leaf is backing away. Just taking the one casualty. Dash as well. Disengaged for now, but a great opener. Maybe KRÜ can work off it.
And a pretty great read as well by KRÜ. Calling for the reinforcements very early on there so that they were ready to back up Shy.
Brave from Leaf in this position here. He doesn't have a dash, just spots the jiggle. Awareness from MTA. Moving forwards and then watching for all the angles. Right place, right time. Kesnet this whole time has just been lurking. Average Jet rank player. And he spots the player out anyway.
And now he's going to
actually called with a B rotate.
The B rotate
okay.
In the 5v2. I mean, yeah, sure.
He's got the space.
That is called playing it safe. You don't want to take the 4v2 over towards A. Make sure that this round is completely secured. Trent's in an utterly unwinnable spot.
There's one from that. Nicely done.
Great round from KRÜ. Again, kind of similar to how they were playing in LCQ and how Melzer was calling then. They had Kesnet pressuring B, Shy watching over towards A, and then 3 players in the middle who were able to rotate between the B pressure and the A pressure, depending on what info there is. Well ping-ponged from site to site. And I didn't know really what to expect from KRÜ coming into this opening game because, you know, yeah, their games were close, but they still went 0-9 throughout the regular season.
Yeah.
And their off-season performance wasn't amazing either. So I was thinking, is LCQ just a flash in the pan? It's really difficult to know. But so far, they are playing very competitively against G2.
Yeah. Messi's sign's going to go amiss, I think, with the American audience, but I respect the attempt. But yeah, you're right, Josh. I mean, a flash in the pan indeed.
Oh, well, I think
maybe
question.
evidence for it, right? That is the question for KRÜ. But I think right now they're proving again they can go toe to toe because, you know, you think about these Ascension teams as well. A team of the caliber of G2, I would often put them, I think, higher up than a lot of the teams in your partnership system sometimes.
I mean, yeah, that's a great question. Which would you respect more, the winner of LCQ or the winner of Ascension? The tier 2 teams are no joke. I think that's a real question.
Yeah, and I think I would put it a little bit over towards G2's favor. I think I respect that a little bit more, but KRÜ can't deny they've got good ideas. They've got the firepower. They're not scared. They've got the confidence. It's boundless right now. They're only trailing by 2. Can they maybe even it up? Leaf with the operator. Here now on towards B.
Certainly could be a game changer.
Drone should spot this. Doesn't even break the drone actually as well. Reposition. Still has a dash. Can take this peak timing, but doesn't know that Kesnet has crossed out towards the left.
And there are no flashes for him to go for that re-establishment onto the aggressive angle. And whereas G2 were often finishing where they first showed presence, KRÜ are kind of doing the opposite. Most of the time when they take B control, they are now leaning A. And it looks like G2 have the read on this because Trent is already coming to reinforce the A site. A one-way being thrown? Or is that just a default smoke, actually? Yeah, just a default smoke. There are plenty of different one-ways, though, that you can run with Brim on the A side.
Super aware. Time just being brought down. 35 seconds. Molly's at their feet now. They can't really cross past that boundary to get into the back of the site. They're finding it really difficult to chew through.
Trent is just eating the vulnerable
to the side, into the corner here. Okay, barreling through. That's brute force. Respect the approach here. So KRÜ have found that opening onto the side, and now this retake pretty much chalked, isn't it? Leaf's got the operator. He's still making his way over towards rafters. But most likely a save.
And KRÜ found a ton of success there by just relying on their fundamentals. Getting in, I mean, the first step, they found a really good knife, actually, onto Trent and Jonah P. So no opportunity to use shock molly combos onto the planter. So that's a huge bonus right from the beginning. But then by triple facing onto rafters, they ensure that they just have so many... Oh, they'll kill?
Hunt begins. This operator's important. Leaf really wants to hold on to this one. Longest spike explosion of all time. This man is sweating right now. Over the top! The right click! Won't survive!
Op denied.
No one will remember them.
Yeah, look at the economy. Not really too feasible to get another one online. Unless somebody wanted to go without armor. So yeah, take a look at this swing. It's a flash out from NTA, whose utility has been excellent and really well coordinated with the rest of the team. And it's all over in one fell swoop. Kesnit's happy about that one. They got rid of the op. That was the goal.
No players to meet them on G2. Over towards A. Giving up a change of the setup, actually. They're looking to see if they can push through this.
Shy is in spawn.
Yeah, in spawn.
He's in the curry spot.
Barely spots it out, actually. I think he might have had his knife out in that instance, but he survives. Alarm bot broken. Job done.
That didn't really pressure KRÜ to accelerate onto A, right? Even though they know that there was a couple of people pushing out B, they're still very diligent with the way that they're clearing angles.
Taking their time with it. Going to be holding a dart for this, potentially. Nano swarms, snake bites, enough to delay. A tap from Klaus. That's again trying to pull out extra pieces. Still a minute left. Hunter's Fury. Any sort of connection? To the usual spots as well. No one really taking the space either. This time on the opposing side. It's Klaus. Lets it rip. Again, no kills really been found. It's a bit of a stalemate between both these teams. The smoke's faded away now. Gonna try and hold on to backside control, but that can be a tricky business plan for Melzer. Finally, will he get this one off? All the way through G2. They want to try and take the fight to them. All the bodies in the world. Again, they're really finding it hard to try and get into that backside control. Melzer forwards onto Nest. He's managed to bring down Leave. Second kill for him. Right click with the knives. KRÜ in control largely there.
The coordination's excellent from KRÜ. They're playing off each other superbly and applying so much pressure onto G2 when they tried to come back into sight. You know, KRÜ were falling back and playing passive post plants on B, and that's what allowed G2 to get this retake style working. Now, they're not falling back at all. They've got people pushed up towards dice, they've got people in top nest, ready, fighting. It's a great adjustment from KRÜ, and it is on the opposite side. We haven't really seen them do an aggressive B post plant. But G2 now need to prove that they can stop this A hit. They've got 4 players on the light eco stacked to try and showcase just that.
This time stopping them from grabbing the orbs as well. It was a snake bite, dart, flash.
One suppressed.
Only the one player found with that. KRÜ might be wading. It's a bit of a trap. Still some bites around a G2, even if they don't have the rifles. They're just holding. Really working the clock, honestly. Every single round of KRÜ.
most of the time, they've been rotating away. This time they hit.
Forwards though with the stinger. Leaf stare, Valen off to the side. Finding the kills where they matter though. How does Leaf get away with two? Bowser swiftly responds. Straight there, and with the res online, so MTA is here, so 1v3, Net with the rifle. A chance, but needs to get lucky with a kill. There's one. Maybe the second, MTA way out wide. It's a 1v1. Shy with a plant down. Time force against him. Shy wins it.
Shy has been a backbone for KRÜ in these dodgy situations. That's the second time that Shy's managed to bail them out by winning a 1v1 when KRÜ were up massive numbers and then got a bit wonky with it.
Yeah, a little bit dodgy.
At the same time, though, they're getting away with it. They're getting away with it. G2 still can't prove that they have the answer to stop KRÜ just simply going A. I don't see any reason for KRÜ to change things up here. Keep hammering A and putting rounds on the board.
KRÜ with the lead. 4 players facing out towards A. No kill found. Leaf. Dash. Trying to get himself out of there. Bullets raining down, peppering him onto the floor, but he is lucky.
You should run.
This is gonna be tough. No Jonah P. No space on site.
Really no chance, is there? With the lockdown, Leaf is just overstaying his welcome, hoping, praying for a kill here. He's gonna get detained, yeah. Push back here, should be an open site for KRÜ. Ollie's delaying him just ever so slightly.
Smoke's down.
Smoke's dropped down. What's the call now from G2? Do they seek to try and fight this one? Still with that player disadvantage, Kesnit! Just Kesnit things. It's disgusting. Right up top, collecting it, the deck collector himself. Drone pushing forwards into their spawn, removing the weapons on for the ace once more.
I mean, he is gonna hunt. Trent doesn't have very much money. It's worth getting the weapon out of his hand, and Kesnit's got tons. This is the perfect situation to play for the clip.
Where could he be? Trent. These targets cowering. They don't clear, they don't clear him. Oh my. Completely dodged and avoided. But Trent just praying he can hold on to this. He hears the ropes as well. Players running straight into him. MTA, he's baiting him so he can get the ace! Oh, that's beautiful.
iBUYPOWER actually seething at that. We have to give away another one of those PCs. So fraudulent. No, that was a sick round from Kesnit. And it demonstrates the same thing again. Look at the angles that Kesnit is fighting to get those two on top of Generator. They're not giving G2 any space to attempt a retake. In order to set up a retake, you need at least the little bit of map control to start moving forwards. And most teams on Icebox are just going to give you that. They're like, oh yeah, we're going to play for sharks, we're going to play for mollies, that kind of thing. Let's back off and play towards belt. And instead, KRÜ are choking out G2. And they're also just going A every round.
Yeah. Icebox moment.
Yeah.
Go A every round.
Actually, Icebox single piece of A4 paper strap book. KRÜ fan favourites here in the Riot Games Arena for what they did last year at LCQ.
What's the play now for G2 to try and bounce back here because it's lead? Got away from them.
Yeah, I mean, they could try doing something like a triple push down mid, see if they can overwhelm Shy, who's normally been holding that, and get a flank retake. That's something they could attempt. I think it's worth trying that kind of thing on the eco, so then you can just stack 4 players A on rifle rounds. But that's what they'll have been discussing during the timeout. To be honest, this one's a bit of a throwaway. And then G2 have to win 3 rounds straight to get it to overtime, assuming that KRÜ can convert here.
Balls in their court. At point, ready and waiting.
The big danger in this round is, of course, Leaf with his Blade Storm. But MTA can kind of just hold on to his knife and wait to use it specifically.
Shy hears it. Turret active as well. Thrown up close. Broken. Updraft. Knives. Missed.
Yeah, and didn't want to dash to try to collect a kill. Instantly, Shy calls for reinforcements. The KRÜ players are there. Backing.
I said it earlier, but the way KRÜ just worked the map, really making sure to get every single second out of them. MTA.
What is that? That's from on top of Generator, like the up angle. What a shot.
What the hell is that? Molly sent flying. Kesnet still here, lurking around the corner. He's going to be meeting Net. Net only with the Sheriff, jiggling. Spots it. He's kind of stuck in his position right now. I need some help from the rest of his team because there's just lurks on lurks over the top. Updraft play. Kesnet baiting like he could be there, trying to force him out wide into the open net, seeking to deny the plan from getting off here. But this is around us falling to pieces unless Leaf can do something about it. Ooh, vulnerables into the yaw forwards. Shy, he's running away. Here's the noise cue. This is a really hard round. You can clear this corner. Melzer wants to take the fight straight to them. Okay, it's traded.
But there goes Leaf with his Blade Storm.
Picks up a rifle. Orbital strike for Valorant. He's still got one smoke. I think maybe there's a chance, but no, Kesnet just want to fight some straight up. Okay, swinging wide. Yeah. Confidence in the aim. I respect it.
That's a masterclass round called by Melzer as well. They insert Melzer up tube into kitchen at the very start. Kesnet continues to apply that lurk pressure with his aggression towards B. And even after they lose MTA to a great shot from Leaf, they've got pressure onto Net, a lurk to pick up Trent, and the B site is theirs. They are really showcasing how to play a slow attack side on Icebox here.
Now looking at map point. Need to try and stop this. Operator again with the drone, this time breaking it. Doesn't push himself off the angle, actually, just keeps it, holds the ground.
I think that's the kind of confidence you need, because they've got to get info to deny Kesnet going for his lurks up towards B.
Hard to hold that angle with the op, though. It's two positions. You can't hold both of them. Into mid now. Kesnet there with the knives.
This looks like Net is going to be asked some serious questions of him. Once this alarm bot gets broken, and they know it's here.
Trying to find it. Running straight through, not even using util to clear. Updraft, they're just going straight into their spawn. This is almost unheard of. There's a dart to clear it. Dash through into the back of it. All the way through. Valorant this time will contain, but Net, there's the questions asked of him. Melter taking him out. It's even trades across the board. 3 versus 3. Trent moving forward. Still, they know a player's there. Straight up through the mid to A. Melter. 1v1 now. Spike in his hands. To get the plant off here.
Leaf spotted way earlier. Didn't get seen in mid. And Leafs picked up a Vandal. Exchanged it for the AWP.
This is it. Keep your team in the map.
Yeah, Melzer doesn't have the orb on the spike, so these snake bites are not a death sentence for Leaf. Melzer will have to peek at some point.
Melzer. Opportunity of a lifetime. Silently working your way all the way across. Players down. Up close. Corners. Will the fight be won? Yes, Melzer. Oh, way to take the map, KRÜ. A grand opening.
Grand opening, grand closing. Melzer called an insane game and wins the clutch towards the end. KRÜ are here to play.
Yeah.
It looked like they were struggling at the beginning of this map, the very first quarter. And then they figured out an adjustment, stacking the sites wherever they saw G2 approaching. And that attack arc was sublime. Beautiful. Again, relying on the same kind of style that we saw from them at LCQ, the 1-3-1 kind of defaulting to perfection.
Yeah, and a fresh start does wonders, honestly. Going into this one, the kickoff tournament, plenty of chances to really just take some names away. And yeah, listen to the start saying that G2 might have been favored, but not the case so far. Early lead here for KRÜ. Stepping away, GP and the analyst desk are going to be breaking it all down for map number 1. So don't go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.